Hi guys, good morning. In yesterday's session, we discussed about URL mappings in REST controller. So we have seen when to go for class level URL pattern, when to go for method level URL pattern, and when method level URL pattern is optional. Okay, right. Now in today's session, we will talk about request parameters. Today's session we are going to talk about request parameters. Right. Here we developed our REST controller by using @controller annotation. So how to develop a REST controller? REST controller, REST controller nothing but it is a distributed component. REST controller means it is a distributed component. REST controller is a distributed component. So to develop distributed component in Spring MVC or Spring Boot, we will use @REST controller annotation. We will use @REST controller annotation. Now, in that, yesterday we created several methods and we bind that method to HTTP GET request method. So distributed, if we want to make our method as a distributed method, we should bind that to HTTP request methods. How to bind our method to HTTP request methods? To bind our methods to HTTP request methods, we will use below annotations. What are those? Get mapping, get mapping annotation is available, and post mapping annotation is available, and put mapping annotation is available, and delete mapping annotation is available. So these are the annotations that we are using. Now, so today we are going to talk more about HTTP GET request and how to send the data in the HTTP GET request. HTTP GET request. Right. Now, in order to bind our method to HTTP GET request, right now see here, I'm writing one method public string say hi. Public string say hi. Now, here I'm writing @get mapping. For this I can give value. Value is equal to slash some value, some URL pattern I will give as a hi. Inside this I will say hi Ashok. So this is the method which is binded to HTTP GET request. When to go for HTTP GET request? When we should bind our method to HTTP GET request. When we should bind our method to HTTP GET request. So guys, any request, anybody having any clarity on that? So we can bind our methods to any HTTP request method. Then my question is, when we should bind our method to HTTP GET request method? Now, based on client request, if resource wants to send data to client, then we should bind that method to GET request method. Sir, I will write n number of methods in my REST controller. Which method I need to use when? When should I bind my method to HTTP GET request method? So this is the use case. If client is sending a request to get some information from the resource, then we should bind that method to GET request method. For example, client wants to get product information, product info. Client wants to get product information. I want to know one product data. Then you should write a method that should bind it to get request method. Client wants to know one employee data, one employee info. Client wants to get book info. That means client is expecting some data from the resource. When the client is expecting some data from your resource, then your resource method should be binded to get request. That means if you want to provide the data to the client, then you should bind your method to HTTP get request method. Are you able to follow this? Right. HTTP get request HTTP get method is idempotent method. HTTP get request method is idempotent method. That means it is a safe request. HTTP get request is a safe request. Why HTTP get request is a safe request? Now assume that this is our resource. This is our REST resource. There is a method which is binded to HTTP get request method in the REST resource. REST resource nothing but our REST controller. This is running inside a server. This REST resource running inside a server. Now, for our REST resource, multiple clients can be available. Assume that one client and assume that one client. Like that, there are multiple clients are available for this REST resource. Who can be called as a client? Who can access my REST resource? Who can be a client for my REST resource? Anybody who is capable of sending one HTTP request, that person will be called as a client. Anybody who is capable of sending HTTP request can become a client for my REST API. Right now, client is going to send one request to this resource, that is a get request. Now, client send the same request once again for the resource get request. Client is sending same request for 1000 times. Still, the data will not be affected in the server. If you send the same request for 1000 times also, the data at the resource will not be affected. That is the reason that get request is called as a idempotent request. That get method is called as a idempotent method, and the get is a safe request. Now, you can see in the internet also what is idempotent. What is idempotent request? When it comes to the HTTP protocol, we need to know what is idempotent request. What are the idempotent or safe methods? Idempotent means safe request. Now I am going to one website and I am going to show you. Safe methods are HTTP methods that do not modify the resources. Safe request. What are the idempotent or safe methods? Idempotent nothing but these methods will not modify the data at the server. These methods will not modify any resource at the server. Safe methods are HTTP methods that do not modify resources. For instance, using get or head on a resource URL should never change the resource. However, this is not completely true. It means it won't change the resource representation. It is still possible the safe methods can change things on a server, but this should not reflect in a different representation. So this is how we are going to represent idempotent methods. Idempotent methods nothing but safe methods. So those methods are not going to change any resource at the server. Resource nothing but data. My server side some data is available. This get request method will not change the data at the server. That is the reason this get request method is called as a idempotent method. Idempotent method is nothing but safe method. Idempotent method nothing but safe method. So if you send same request for 1000 times also, then the data at the server side will not be modified. You can repeat the same request for multiple times. There will not be any effect at the server. That is the reason get is a safe operation. When to bind our method to get request method? Based on the client request, if a resource wants to send the data to the client, then we should bind that method to get request method. To bind the method to get request method, we will use at get mapping annotation. We will use get mapping annotation. What is the example? Already I have given the example like this. Right, this is the example for this. So you can write a method with a get mapping so that this method is binded to get request slash hi. Anybody who want to access this operation, they need to send a HTTP get request with this URL pattern. Anybody who is capable of sending HTTP get request with this hi URL can access my method, can access my distributed method. Right? HTTP get method is idempotent method. It is a safe method. Idempotent methods are safe methods. If we send same request for multiple times also, they won't change resources at the server. Resource is nothing but data. They won't change resources at the server. That is the reason these are called as safe methods. Right. Now let me talk about one client here. There is a REST resource which is available in the server. Now for this resource, n number of clients can be available. Now I am taking one client. This is called REST client. REST client can be anyone who is capable of sending one HTTP request. Now client is going to make a request to the server. Now server is going to send the response to the client. Now this is called as HTTP get request, and we are going to get HTTP response from the server. HTTP get request and HTTP response. Now when you go for HTTP get request, how that request will go to server? Get request slash your resource URL slash some parameters space HTTP protocol version. Like this, the request will go to the server. Now get request, it will represent as a get, that is representing as a get request in the HTTP. After the get request, to which resource you are sending that request, that resource URL will be specified. After that, HTTP protocol version also will be specified. Like this, client will prepare that get request and client will send that get request to REST resource. Resource will process that request and will send the response to the client, that is called as a HTTP response. Now right, here I have written one method which is used to give me hi, but this method will give always hi Ashok. Here name is hard coded. Now the thing is, whatever the name I pass, for that person name it has to say the hi. That means name I want to pass dynamically. Right. For the get request method, request body will not be available. For get request method, request body will not be available. Then how to send data to server in get request? I want to send my name to the server so that it will display hi whatever the name I pass. If I pass John, it should give hi John. If I pass Smith, hi Smith. It should give, if I give Ashok, it should give hi Ashok. That means name I want to send to the server. So generally, when we go for clients will send the data to the server in below format. So this is our request. If that request will be divided into two parts. One is called as header part and another one is called as body part. So this is called as a request preparation. Our browser will prepare a request like this. That request will contain header part and body part. In the header part, you can keep metadata. Metadata you can keep in the header part. In the body part, you can keep business data. Anything that you want to send to the server, you can keep in the body part. But the problem is, when it comes to the GET request, this body will not be available. When it comes to the HTTP GET request, request body will not be available. If the request body is not available for the GET request, then how to send the data to the server? That's where request parameters and path parameters comes into picture. To send the data, in GET request, we can use below things. One is query parameters, another one is path parameters. In the Spring MVC, I did not explain because I thought of explaining in the REST API. In the Spring MVC controller also, you can use query parameters and you can use path parameters. Right now, when to go for query parameter and when to go for path parameter? First of all, what is the purpose of query parameters and path parameters? Query parameters and path parameters are used to send the data when you are making a HTTP GET request. Even for POST request also we can use it, but generally people will use these two concepts when they are making a GET request. Client will use query parameters or path parameters to send the data to the server when they are making a GET request. When they are making a GET request, client will send the data to the server in the form of URL. Query parameters and path parameters will be present in URL. Query parameters and path parameters will be present in URL. So what is the purpose of these two? These two concepts are used to send the data to the server in the URL. Now I want to send one name or I want to send one ID. So then I can go for query parameter or I can go for path parameter. Are you able to follow this? Generally request object will contain header part and body part. But when it comes to the GET request, body part will not be available. If the body part is not available, how can I send the data to the server as a client? Now assume that you are my resource. You are expecting some name from me. Then only you can display hi message with the name. How can I send the data? Either by using a query parameter or by using a path parameter. Query parameter, path parameter will be present in the URL. In the URL, I can send the data either as a query parameter or as a path parameter. Now, let's talk about query parameters first. What are query parameters? What are the query parameters? You might have already discussed it in your Spring or when you learned a servlet, you have gone through query parameters. Let's see once again. Query parameters are used to send data from client to server in URL. Query parameters are used to send data from client to server in URL. Query parameters will represent data in key value pair format. Query parameters will represent data in key value pair format. Example, question mark is the start point of a query parameter. ID is equal to 101. And if you want to send more than one query parameter, ID is equal to 101 and name is equal to Ashok. So if you want to send a query parameter in the URL, you have to represent like this. So at the end of the URL, you need to write question mark. Question mark symbol represents starting point of the query parameter. ID is equal to 101. ID is a key, 101 is a value. So I'm sending data from client system to server system in the URL by using query parameter. Suppose I want to send more than one information, right? More than one pair. Then what I need to do? Question mark represents start point. ID is equal to 101 and the name is equal to Ashok. So ID is equal to 101 is one pair, name is equal to Ashok is another pair. Like this you can send multiple pairs also by using AND as a separator. By using AND as a separator. And note, query parameters should present only at end of the URL. Query parameters should present only at end of the URL. What does that mean? Now my URL is http://www.usa.gov.in/fpd question mark SSN is equal to some number. SSN is equal to some number. Now, so I'm making a request to USA government project. FPD scores is the resource. For that FPD scores resource, I want to get SSN based FPD scores. How we are having CIBIL scores in the India for getting a loan or for getting a credit card, some details. If you want to take any loan from the banking sector, they will check your CIBIL scores. Suppose assume that I want to purchase one house. Now, due to this COVID situation, the real estate market is little bit down, prices are come down, so I want to purchase one duplex house in the high-tech city. Able to follow this? Now, if I want to purchase a duplex house, assume that in the high-tech city I need to spend 2.5 crores of rupees. I don't have that much money, right? Now, I have some money and for the remaining money, I want to take a loan. I want to take a house loan. If I go to a bank and ask 2 crores as a house loan, do you think that they will provide the 2 crores immediately in a bag and I can come back to my home? Can I do that? No. If I go for a 2 crores or 1 crore loan, government will not provide me that loan immediately. They will check whether I am a salary employed or not, what is my current package, how much income I am getting every month. They will check, will I be able to pay that loan amount in the EMI basis or not? And what is my CIBIL score? Am I using any credit card? Am I making the credit card payments on time? Did I miss any credit card payment? Like this, they are going to check so many details of me. If they are satisfied with all my details, if they believe me, by checking my details, they will take a decision, can I pay the EMI amount on monthly basis or not? That is called CIBIL scores. They are going to check the CIBIL score, right, in the India. Similarly, when it go for USA, if any person wants to take any credit card or if they want to apply for a loan like house loans or personal loan or whatever it is, then in the USA they are also having a concept called FPD scores. That is one project, FPD scores. So in the India nowadays, Aadhaar card is mandatory for everyone. Every person should have a Aadhaar number. So this we started recently, I think 4-5 years back our Aadhaar card project got started. But in the USA from long back, SSN concept is available. Every USA citizen will have unique SSN number which is similar to our Aadhaar. But before Aadhaar, the SSN concept was there in the USA. SSN stands for Social Security Number. So every USA citizen will contain one SSN number, how we have the Aadhaar number. In the family, if 4 members are there, 4 members will have 4 different Aadhaar numbers. So in the USA, similar to that, every citizen will have a social security number. Right now, this is the number. Based on this social security number, I want to get the FPD scores of a USA citizen. Now, so I want to get the data. I want to get the data from the FPD scores. FPD scores is a one USA project. From that project, I want to access the scores of a citizen whose SSN number is this. This is the use case where you need to go for a query parameter because getting the scores, get FPD scores is the URL. Now that means it is a GET request. It is a GET request. Can I send the data? Can I send the data in the request body for the GET request? Can I send that SSN number in the request body? Guys, please respond. Can I send that request? Can I send the request with the body data? Or I cannot send the request with the body data. I cannot send the request with the body data. The reason is GET request will not contain the body. GET request will not contain the body. Now see here. See here. Now this is a REST API developed by FPD company. Now this is FPD scores. This project is FPD scores project. there is a REST resource available which will give me FPD scores of a citizen. For that I need to pass the SSN number. So that request method is binded to get request because server is responsible to send the data to the client. So client has to get the data. Client has to get the data. Both are opposite, sir. Client has to get the data. Server has to send the data. If server wants to send the data to the client, that method will be binded to get request method. But what data client has to get? FPD scores client has to get. For FPD scores, I need to send SSN number. This is the resource endpoint URL. This is my REST endpoint URL. Input for that, now let me say you, this is REST endpoint. Endpoint nothing but target system URL. REST endpoint URL. For this URL, they are expecting input SSN number as query parameter. SSN number as query parameter. Then how I need to frame my URL? How that final URL is going to look like for me as a client? I need to send a request to the URL, right? By using a URL, I need to send a request to the resource. How I will do that? http://www.usa.gov.in/get fpd scores (key). They will tell you what is the key you need to send. SSN is equal to the 9-digit number will be available. I'm going to send like this. I'm going to send like this. Are you able to follow this? Now, this is the URL which contains a query parameter. Query parameter will be at the end of the URL. Query parameter will be at the end of the URL. Now, sir, if you can send like this, then request will go to FPD scores and it will give you data. Right? Now, suppose, sir, can I send SSN like this? This is the valid format. It is valid URL. Can I send like this? I will send SSN here. SSN is equal to, I will start the question mark here. SSN is equal to that number I am going to specify / get scores I am going to specify. So SSN I am passing here also. Here also 9-digit SSN number is there. Here also 9-digit SSN number is there. But this is invalid. This is invalid. What is the reason this is invalid? Where is the query parameter available? My query parameter is available in the middle of the URL. This get up FPD scores is part of the URL only, but query parameter is available at the middle of the URL. That's why this is incorrect. So this is valid because query parameters always should present only at the end of the URL. Are you guys able to follow this? How to send the data to the server when we are making a GET request? When we are making a GET request, we can send the data to the server as a query parameter. How the query parameter looks like? This is how query parameter is going to look like. Client will send this data in the URL in the form of key and value. You can send multiple key value pairs by using AND as a separator. Query parameter should present only at the end of the URL. So the resource side team will give you, this is our endpoint URL, SSN number as a query parameter, key is equal to key is SSN. Key is SSN. Now I'm going to prepare the final URL like this. Up to this is the resource URL and this is input for the resource as a query parameter. Are you guys able to follow this? Are you guys able to understand what is query parameter and when to go for query parameter? Query parameters are used to send the data to server in the URL. Query parameter should present only at the end of the URL. Query parameter will start with the question mark. Query parameters will be separated by AND operator. So if you know these things, now we can work with query parameters now. Are you able to follow this? Next point. At the server side, to read query parameters in resource method, we will use @request param annotation. Client is sending, but how server will read it? Client is sending the data in the URL. This value I want to pass to my method. How my method can take the data from the query parameter? By using request param annotation. By using request param annotation, we can read the data in the query parameters. So now how we are dealing with the query parameters in our application? Here we are using Spring with REST. Here if you go for JAX RS API also same concept. In the JAX RS API also query parameter is there. In the JAX RS API there is an annotation called @query param. Directly query param annotation is available in the JAX RS API. But here we are not using JAX RS. We are using Spring with REST. Spring MVC we are using. In the Spring MVC, to read the query parameters, we will use an annotation called @request param. @request param annotation we are going to use to read the query parameters. Now, what is the syntax for that? Sir, I want to read a query parameter. I want to read a query parameters like this: public string say hello. Now I want to take name. I want to take the name. Now how can I read that query parameter here? By specifying @request param of name as a key. Name as a key. This method I am binding to @get request, that is get mapping /hello /hello. So this method is binded to hello. Then I can return hello name. So whatever the name you send in the query parameter, for that name I am appending hello string and I am returning that back. So this is how we will read query parameter in the REST controller method. Client will send the request with the query parameter at the end of the URL. To read that query parameter value based on the key, we will use an annotation called @request param annotation. @request param annotation. Are you guys able to follow this? Or do you have any confusion on the query parameters? If you are clear with the theory, then we'll start an application development for this. Clear for all of you? Very good. Let's create one project. Before that, let me save this notepad so that I will share you this notepad after the class. July 7th. Good. Fine. Go to IDE. Now I'm going to create a project to perform REST development. I'm going to create a project with a using Spring Starter. Spring Boot application I'm going to create now. File, new, other, Spring Starter project. Click on next. Spring Boot request parameters app. Spring Boot REST request parameters. This is 15th application that I'm creating. Spring Boot REST request parameters. Request params app. Spring Boot REST request parameters app. Click on next. Web dependency I'm adding and DevTools I'm adding. That's it. Web dependency and DevTools dependency I'm adding. Click on next. Click on finish. Click on finish. Yeah, our application is getting created. When you attend an interview with the RESTful services, it is a damn sure interview question. It is a damn sure interview question. What is query parameter? What is path parameter? When to go for query parameter? When to go for path parameter? Now let me create one REST resource. I'm going to create a REST resource. REST controller I'm going to create. by using @REST controller annotation. Yes, let's wait. Still project is under creation. Yeah, base package got created with the start class and the initializer. Now I'm going to create one REST controller by using @REST controller annotation. Right click, new class. Yeah, FPD scores REST controller. FPD scores REST controller. Or I can give as a query parameter REST controller also. If you really want to see the difference, right, we can give class name as query param controller, or I am giving it as a FPD scores REST controller. Let's write. Yes, it creates in the base package itself, no problem. Or you can create a separate package also. I forgot to give the correct package name, sir. No worries. Yes, component scanning will happen for the base package also. It will be represented as a Spring Bean. I'm giving annotation @REST controller so that this class will become a distributed component. This class will become a distributed component @REST controller. @REST controller. Let's write one method, public string. Public string or public number also you can return. You can return an integer also, no problem. I'm giving a string message, public string get FPD scores. Get FPD scores, right? In order to get the FPD scores, I need a number, that is long SSN. Long SSN logic retrieve from DB with calculations, right? Finally, I want to return FPD score is from 1 to 100. I'm giving the score as a 75. FPD score is 75, right? Let's bind this method to a get request method by using get mapping. Right here, I can bind this to class level URL pattern also. Request mapping, I will give it as /FPD. Here I will give value is equal to score. FPD score, I want to get it. FPD score, I want to get it. Give me 1 second, guys. Right, here I'm writing a method. This method is available inside a REST controller. Class level URL pattern I am giving, method level URL pattern also I am giving, and this is expecting a SSN number. How you want client to send the data, resource developer will decide. Now client has to send the SSN number. How client has to send SSN number? When it is binded to get request, client is having two options, right? One is path parameter, another one is query parameter. Who will decide whether to use path parameter or whether to use query parameter? API team will decide, resource team will decide. Now I will decide this as query parameter by using @request param as SSN. Request param as a SSN. That means whenever they access my resource, they need to send query parameter with SSN as a key, and value should be SSN number. So client will send that SSN number in the URL. How I need to read that data from the URL? By using this request param annotation. So what is the purpose of @request param annotation? To read query parameter from the URL as a method parameter. To inject query parameter values into method parameters, we are going to use request param annotation. So what is the purpose of request param annotation? To read query parameter in resource method, we will use request param annotation, or we can say to inject query parameter values into method parameters, we will use request param annotation. Are you able to follow this? Or you guys have any questions related to this method? It is very simple. Just I am taking a method parameter as a SSN. Guys, Akhil Sai, I am not talking about path parameter whether it is mandatory or not, sir. First I am trying to explain the concept. I know what to teach. Later I will tell you which is mandatory, which is optional. Who told you query parameter is optional? I will prove that it is mandatory. What you will do now? Stop messaging in the chat box when the explanation is going on. Please concentrate what I am discussing. We are discussing with a lot of experience. We know how to teach, what to tell you. Who told you query parameter is optional? Now it is mandatory here in the Spring REST. If you don't concentrate, how you will understand that? It is mandatory. That is true. Concentrate on the class. Don't send the messages in the chat box, guys, please. I am giving the time. No faculty will give the time to ask the questions at the end, but I am giving that facility also. I am providing 100% support. Please utilize that properly. I can stop sending the messages in the chat box. I can disable that concept also. In the GoToMeeting we have that. Then what you will do? Please concentrate on the class. Don't disturb the flow. Are you able to follow this, all of you? Will you agree with that? Please don't send any message in the chat box when the class is going on. Please don't spoil the healthy environment. If you give me proper environment, I will give you proper subject. If you disturb me, I will disturb you. It is directly proportional. It is directly proportional. If you give me proper environment, I will give you the best subject. Nobody will give you this much knowledge. I am sure. In the internet also you will not get this kind of examples and this kind of explanation. From past 7 years I worked on the web service. I told you it is my favorite subject. Please allow me to give you the best content. You can keep 3 to 4 years of experience as a RESTful services developer after attending this batch. Complete REST I am covering. If you spoil by sending unwanted messages, future concepts you are discussing in the chat box, which I did not explain as of now. After my explanation, if you have any doubt, then you can ask a question. Don't disturb the flow, please. All of you mute your mics. Don't put any message in the chat box. Please don't put. At the end, I will give time to ask the question. Then you can ask and I will clarify your question. All right. Now, here I am writing a method. That method I am creating by using, I am binding that method to HTTP GET request method. For that, I am using an annotation called @getMapping. What is the purpose of @getMapping? @getMapping is the annotation which is used to bind our method to HTTP GET request. Which is used to bind our method to HTTP GET request. When we need to bind our methods to GET request method, our method wants to send the data to the client. So understand that. If our method wants to send the data to the client, then we will bind our method to GET request method. From the client standpoint, opposite direction, client wants to get the data. Then client will send a GET request. Now, client wants to get FPD scores of a particular USA citizen. So every USA citizen will have a unique SSN number. Based on the SSN number, he can get the FPD score of that citizen. Right now, so this is GET request. Can client send the data for this method in the request body, or client cannot send the data in the request body? Client cannot send the data in the request body. The reason is GET request will not contain the request body. GET request will not contain the request body. So how then, if the request body is not available, then how client can send the data to the server? That's where query parameters and path parameters comes into picture. Now first I am talking about query parameter. What is query parameter? Query parameter is used to send the data in the URL from client system to server system in the form of key value. Right. Now, if a client is sending the data in the form of key and value, how resource method will read that query parameter value? By using request param annotation. I am specifying the key here. So what is the purpose of request param annotation? It is used to inject query parameter value into method parameter based on the key, right? Now here request mapping, class level URL pattern is available, method level URL pattern is also available, but actually in this situation method level URL pattern is optional. Method level URL pattern is optional. What is the reason why method level URL pattern is optional here? In this REST controller, there is only one method which is binded to GET request. So if I send a GET request to this FPD resource, then this method will execute directly. If there is one more method which is binded to GET request, then URL pattern is mandatory. So in the last class we discussed how to play with the URL patterns in the REST controllers. So, but the recommended approach, I suggest you to give both class level URL pattern and method level URL pattern so that we can avoid ambiguity problems. Alright. I hope all of you clear with this REST controller and REST controller method also. Let's test this. Now, before going to test it, I'm going to change the port number of the embedded container. By default, it is going to start with 8080, right? Server dot port is equal to, I will give 8081. The default container port is 8080, but in my machine, Oracle DB server is running with 8080, so that's why embedded container port number I am changing from 8080 to 8081. So what is the default embedded container? Apache Tomcat is coming as a default container when we add web starter in the pom.xml. Whenever we add web starter, we are going to get that Apache Tomcat as a embedded container to run our application. In the MVC applications, we added embed Jasper. But here, why I am not adding embed Jasper? There is no UI, there is no JSP. REST is for business to business communication. Presentation logic will not be available. So that is the reason no JSP, no Jasper dependency. So directly REST controller. REST controller always will return response body directly. There is no presentation part in the REST API. Please remember that part. I told you what is C2B, what is B2B. If there is a C2B communication, then UI will be available. But in the B2B, UI will not be available. Alright. Let's run our application. Yeah. So I closed all the remaining projects. This is enabled now. Run it. Run as boot app. So Spring Boot application is getting started. I did not give any context path. I just changed port number. Now, so how to access that? Query parameter application. Query parameter application. Here we created one REST controller with FPD scores. So this is my method. Now to access this REST endpoint URL now. What is the REST endpoint URL for this resource? http://localhost:8081 I didn't have any context path, so no need to specify. We should not specify that. URL pattern fpd/score and question mark SSN is equal to some number. SSN is equal to number. This is the endpoint URL to access this resource. So up to here application URL, FPD is the class level URL, score is the method level URL, question mark query parameter is starting, SSN is equal to the value in the form of key and value. So this is how client will send a request with this URL. So client will send a GET request with this URL. Right now, take this URL. From the browser also, from the browser address bar, directly we can send a GET request. From the browser address bar, directly we can send a GET request. Now, open the browser. type this URL in the address bar. You see here in the browser address bar, I'm typing this URL. From the browser address bar, you can send a GET request to the server. Now, let's enter. Send a GET request. FPD score is 75. So we are able to access this. FPD score is 75. So now we are sending a request with this query parameter server side. That query parameter value has taken from the URL and supplied to this method as a parameter. Who has done that work internally? Who is extracting the value from the query parameter? Who is calling this controller method? Can you tell me in the chat box? Who is extracting this query parameter? Who is sending? Who is extracting the query parameter and who is sending that query parameter value? Able to follow this? Dispatcher servlet is going to perform pre-processing. Dispatcher servlet is going to perform pre-processing. Dispatcher servlet is the front controller which is going to call our method, resource method. So it is the responsibility of the dispatcher servlet take the data from this query parameter and pass that as a method parameter. When the dispatcher servlet go and tries to call this method, dispatcher servlet will understand this method is expecting a query parameter. How it will understand? Request param will represent. Request param annotation will represent the value coming in the query parameter. Now, dispatcher servlet, it is going to call this REST controller method. When it is trying to call this REST controller method, it will check, does this method is expecting any parameter? Yes. How that parameter will come? Request param. That means query parameter. Now, dispatcher servlet will check that URL. Does that query parameter is present in the URL or not? Does that query parameter present in the URL or not? It will check based on the key. If that is present in the URL, then dispatcher servlet will read the value of that parameter based on the key and it will supply that value as a parameter for our method. Then our method will be executed. That is the internal logic. Dispatcher servlet will perform pre-processing of request. What is the pre-processing for this method? Reading the data from the URL and passing that as a value to our method as a parameter. Passing the value to our method as a parameter. Are you guys able to understand this? Who is reading the value from the query parameter? Who is passing that as a parameter to the method? Dispatcher servlet. That is called pre-processing of the request. How dispatcher will understand? It has to read the query parameter. Whenever it is going to call this method, it will understand that method is having a parameter. That parameter is a request parameter. Request parameter nothing but query parameter. So it will take this from the URL. It will supply to this method as a parameter. That is the duty of the dispatcher servlet. Right? Fine. Now we are able to send the request and we got this. Now let's try. You people are showing your heroism in the chat box. Now show it. Now I don't pass this query parameter in the URL. Directly I will send the request without query parameter. Now our heroes will talk. Can I access that resource or I cannot access that resource method? Can I access the resource method without sending this query parameter? Can I access it or I cannot access it? Or people told query parameters are optional. Now see the URL. With the query parameter, I am able to access. With query parameter, I am able to access. Now remove it. Now send the request. What happened? Bad request 400. Bad request 400. Request is bad. It is saying required long parameter SSN is not present. What does that mean? What is the error it is saying by the server? Server is saying that SSN is required. That means is it mandatory or is it optional now? Is it mandatory or is it optional? Come on, speak out. It is mandatory. Who told query parameter is optional for you? The chat box you people are typing, you are fighting with each other. Somebody saying optional, somebody saying mandatory. Please wait until unless I complete my explanation. Then you can discuss about it. Query parameter is mandatory when you are working with the REST controller. Query parameter is optional when you develop your REST API by using JAX-RS. If you use JAX-RS, query parameters are optional. If you use Spring MVC, query parameters are mandatory. That is a thin line difference. You have to understand. Same REST API, if I develop by using JAX-RS API, there also I can read the query parameter. If the query parameter is there in the JAX-RS API, it is optional. Without passing the query parameter also you can access the REST API if it is developed by using JAX-RS. But if it is developed by using Spring MVC, then it is mandatory. Then it is mandatory. Are you able to understand? By default, query parameters are mandatory when we are working with Spring REST controllers. Note that point. When we are using request param annotation, passing query parameters is mandatory. Query parameters are mandatory in the URL. Query parameters are mandatory in URL. Query parameters are mandatory in URL to access resource. When we are using request param annotation, query parameters are mandatory in URL to access resource. Without this query parameter, you cannot access that resource. This is the proof practically we are seeing. FP Discourse is expecting a query parameter, SSN number. SSN is equal to this. Now I am able to access the resource. Without giving this SSN, if I send the request, biteable error page, bad request 400. It is saying that missing servlet request parameter exception. Required long parameter SSN is not present. So query parameter is mandatory. Now let us apply SSN is equal to some value. Now I send it. Now if you observe, when I am sending this SSN number in the URL like this, the data will go to the server as a string. But my method is expecting that parameter is a long. How come it is converted to long? So over a network, whatever the data you supply, that will go to server in the form of string. Now that means client is sending the data in the form of string in the URL. But how come that string is converting to long? That is also taken care by our dispatcher servlet as part of pre-processing. So before going to call this method, it is going to check what is the method parameter, what is the type of the parameter. Method parameter is a SSN, that is a request parameter, and it is a long. Client send that in the URL. It will take that value, it will convert that to the long value, and it will supply to this method as a parameter. That is called pre-processing of a request. So to call this method, dispatcher servlet should read the data from the URL. It has to convert that value to the long value, and it has to call this method by passing that parameter. So I hope you are clear with this request param annotation. Query parameter is mandatory or query parameter is optional? What is the default behavior of the request param? What is the default behavior of the request param? Query parameter is optional or query parameter is mandatory? Now you can reply. When I ask a question, you have to reply. You should not fight with others in the chat box. Query parameter is mandatory. That is the default behavior when you go for request param. Okay sir, but can I make it as optional? Can I make the request parameter is optional? Yes, that facility is available when you come to Spring MVC. When it comes to the Spring MVC, query parameters you can make it as a optional also, but the default behavior, that is they are mandatory. The default behavior, they are mandatory. We can make them optional also. See here, how can I make it as a optional? Request param attributes are available. For this annotation, there are attributes. Default value is one attribute, name is one attribute, required is one attribute, direct value is one attribute. Right? Required is a boolean. If you give required, the default required is true. If I set the required is equal to false, then query parameter will be optional. Right? Now, request param value is equal to slash sorry, request parameter value is your SSN, that is the key, comma, required is equal to false. Required is equal to false. Now, what about this query parameter? This query parameter is not required. It is optional. If client supply, no problem. Let me print it. System.out.println SSN. Just for our understanding purpose, what is going to server? SSN. I'm printing on the console SSN. Right. DevTools property is added dependency. So application is getting restarted because of the change we made in the code. Yeah, application started. Take this first URL with query parameter. Yeah, same already URL is available. Before going to send this request, let me clear my console. Verify. Yeah, console is cleared. Send the request. SSN value is coming. So I'm able to access the resource by supplying query parameter in the URL. Clear this console. Now let us send this. Still we are able to access. That means what? Programmer is having a flexibility to decide whether to make it as mandatory or optional. Query parameters we can make it as mandatory or we can make it as a optional also. The default behavior is mandatory. If you want to make your query parameter as optional, then you need to go for required is equal to false. Then we need to go for required is equal to false. All of you clear with this one? But this is different when it comes to JAX-RS API to develop a REST API. There in the JAX-RS API, instead of the request param, we have a query param annotation. We have a query param annotation. In that, query parameters are optional. But when it comes to Spring MVC, the concept is different. The default behavior is mandatory. If you want to make it, you can make it optional by specifying required is equal to false. Now, go to this annotation. Not only in the REST API, in the Spring controller also, you can read the query parameter by using request param. Same annotation, same behavior can be used in the controller also. But here I am using it in the REST controller. Now, so today morning in the project batch we have seen. So when the edit functionality, delete functionality is working, we are sending a query parameter to the controller. Here in the project batch 6 AM in the contact application, I am sending contact ID as a query parameter to edit the record as well as to delete the record. That means in the controller also we can read the query parameter as a method parameter using request param. In the 7:30 class, we are using this query parameter in the REST controller. So query parameter is same when it is in controller or when it is a REST controller. There is no difference between that. In the controller also we can use a query parameter. In the REST controller also we can use the query parameter. The behavior is same. By default they are mandatory. If you want, you can make it as optional. Are you able to follow this? Right. Now let's go and see the source code of this request param annotation. What is this and where it is provided? So this is the documentation given by Spring Framework. This query request param annotation is available from Spring 2.5 onwards. It is available from Spring 2.5 version onwards. Annotation which indicates that a method parameter should be bound to a web request parameter. So web request parameter means when the client is making a web request with the URL, in that URL he can supply some value. He can supply some value in the form of key and value per format. If you want to take that value as your method parameter, then you can go for this request param annotation. Supported for annotated handler methods in Spring MVC and Spring Web Flux also. So when you develop a web application by using MVC, or when you develop a REST application by using MVC, or if you develop a reactive application by using Web Flux also, you can use this query parameter concept. In Spring MVC, request parameters map to query parameters, form data, multi-part request. This is because the Servlet API combines query parameters and form data into a single map called parameters. So this is Spring MVC in the background is using Servlet API. It is using Servlet API. How that Servlet API will receive the data? In the form of request parameters. Form data, everything will go in the form of key and value pair to the server. So when you go for get request, you will send in the URL. When you go for post request, you will send in the body. But still, client will send the data to the server in the form of key and value pair, that is called as a map. Representing the data in the key and value, that map is called as a parameter map. Model attribute also we have seen in the MVC. Whatever the data that you are sending, you can bind that to a object also by using model attribute. Command object also you can use. If you are sending 3 query parameters, I want to convert them into object format. We already done that in the project batch. Contact save. When you save, click on save button. Your form data will go to server as a query parameters, or you can send in the request body. That form data will be binded to object, right? If the method parameter request parameter name is specified, then the request parameter value will be converted to assuming an appropriate conversion strategy is available. This is what I am saying. In the network, the data will transfer in the string format, but the method is expecting long. So what is happening? It is applying conversion strategy in the background. That string value is converted to long value. I read it. If the method parameter type and request parameter name is specified, then the request parameter value is converted to assuming an appropriate conversion strategy is available. That string value converted to long value in our scenario, because method is expecting a long data type. Value is coming in the form of string, that is converted to long value. Sorry, I closed it by mistake. Yeah, let me open it once again. You have to habituate to read the documentation, guys. You don't need to depend on somebody to explain. You can self-learning. Right. So it is giving the complete description. It is giving complete description. Right. So I hope you guys are able to understand what is query parameter and how to work with query parameter. Next one. Sir, if query parameter is mandatory, can we make it optional? Yes, we have seen that. Required is equal to false. Now here I can do one more thing. Default value is equal to some number. Default value is equal to some number. What does that mean? If you make query parameter is optional, if client don't send that query parameter, I can take some default value. I can take some default value like this. Now in this situation, my query parameter is optional because I gave required is equal to false. I gave required is equal to false. So a client may send or client may not send the query parameter. If a client send the query parameter, this will be skipped. If a client did not send the query parameter, then it is going to be considered. Are you able to follow this? What is the purpose of default value? If a client send the query parameter, preference will be given to query parameter, which is sent by the client. If a client did not send it, still he can access because I made this parameter as optional parameter. If a client did not send it, then this default value will be considered. Let's check in the console by making a request. Now I'm going to send query parameter with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. SSN, some dummy SSN number I'm sending as a query parameter. Send a request. SSN number, we got it. That means we are able to read that SSN number through our method. In our method, we are able to read it as a query parameter. Now clear the console. Next, I'm sending a request without this query parameter. Can I access it or not? Yes, we are able to access. What is coming? SSN is equal to some number. How come this number is coming as SSN? That is the default value which is specified for the get request mapping annotation when we use this request param. For this get request method, I am specifying a request parameter. I am making that parameter is optional. If a client send it, preference will be given to client sending value. If a client did not send it, then preference will be given to default value. Will be given to default value. We can make query parameters as optional using below approach. We can make query parameters are optional using below approach. Right. When we make query parameter is optional, we can consider default value like above. Right. If a client send that value, preference will be given to the client value. If the client did not send that value, preference will be given to default value. Are you guys clear with this? How to work with these query parameters? I hope it is clear for everyone. Thank you guys. In the tomorrow session, we will see how to work with path parameters. Thank you. Right. Now, if you have any questions, now you can ask.
That request parameter or what?
One second.